Now let's look at the three methods that we'll use in file management in Python programming language. The first one is the open method, and what this method does is to create a text file to write data using either the A, which means append, or W, which means write commands. You can see an example here. We have file equal open, and in parentheses we have new underscore file dot text or txt, and we are passing the A command, which means append. So the difference between the A command and the W command is that when you append data to a file, it's just like you're adding data to the file. But when you write data to the file, it's like you're overwriting the data that's already present in the file, and new data is going to be written to that file. The second method we're going to be looking at is the file.write method, and what this method does is just to write data to the text file. So as you can see in this example, we have file.write, and in parentheses, we're writing this paragraph that says, or sentence, I enjoy coding on MarsCode. Of course, whenever you want to write something to a file, afterwards you have to close the file, and that's what we're doing there. We're putting file.close. The next method we're going to be looking at is the readline and the read methods. Now, these two methods have different uses. Again, if we want to be able to read information from a file, we have to open the text file first. As you can see, we have this file equal open, and in parentheses, we have this new underscore file.txt, and we're passing this R command, which means read. Now on the next line, we're printing file.readline, and what it does is just read the line as in the first line that you have in your file only, but it does not read the entire file. If you want to read the entire file, that means you want to print out all the data in the file, then you'd have to do the third line, which is file.read. So that just reads everything that you have present in the file. And of course, you have to close the file when you finish using it. So the readline method reads and displays data on the line in the text file, while the read method reads all the data in the text file. The last method we're going to be looking at, I wouldn't say is exactly a method, but a way or a technique to be able to convert a text file into a PDF. And that is by using the FPDF library, which we've already seen in this tutorial. What you will need to do if you wanted to convert a text file to a PDF, you first have to open up your text file. So as you can see here, we have file equal open, and again in parentheses, we're putting the name of the text file and passing the read command or R. Then we're using the for loop to basically go through every component or every data in the file, and that's why we're saying for read in file. So we're basically going through every data that's existing in the file. As we go through that data, we're writing that information to a PDF so we can create a PDF document in the end. And how we're doing that is by putting this pdf.cell 200, 10, and 200 just means how wide your PDF cell is, and 10 means how tall it's going to be. Just consider it like a box, an area where you're going to be writing that text information. We're passing that read variable, which you can see is in the for loop, so that we can write the information as we're reading or going through all that data in the file. So that's why we have read after. And then we're specifying to the compiler where we want to put that data, and we can see ln equal 1, which basically means we're putting the data in line 1. And then of course we're aligning the data to C, which means to the center. So the sentence or the paragraph or whatever is in the file will be aligned to the center. Afterwards, we're finally outputting the PDF after reading all the information in the file, and we're doing that by saying pdf.output and putting the name of the new PDF file that's going to be created. So this entire method just shows you how you can convert a text file to a PDF file. Now the new underscore file text file is open and its contents are read to a PDF document using the pdf.cell method. After reading all the contents from the text file, a PDF document, which is a file.pdf, is created as we've already seen. Now let's look at an example of a code that we will create to be able to make use of text files and eventually convert them into PDF or docs documents. The name of this program is called the MarsCode Panda program. As you can see in the first two lines, we are importing some libraries. We're importing the FPDF library and also importing the time library. The FPDF library, as we've already learned, is basically used to create a PDF file. And the time library is basically there to just create like time pauses and seconds, so we can make the code a little bit more realistic. The objective of this code, the MarsCode Panda program, is just to have a conversation with the user. So it's just like a chat room. So the next few lines on line 4 and 5, we can see that we're welcoming the user to this MarsCode Pandas platform. Afterwards, we're telling the user we would like to get to know them better. But you recall that on line 7, we're waiting for about 1 second, and we're using that time.sleep statement, which is the reason why we imported time, to create that pause between the welcome message and telling them that we would like to get to know them within a strain of 1 second. Afterwards, on line 13, we're asking the user for their name. So if you're wondering what lines 12 and 8 and 4 are, those are just color codes that we've already seen from the ASCII escape color code table. So it's just basically going to print the text that we have or the input statements that we have in specific colors. Now back to line 13, we're creating a variable called name and we're asking the user what their name is. Afterward, we're waiting 1 second and this MarsCode Panda is going to respond by saying, "Nice to meet you," whatever the person's name is. So you notice that we're separating the variable from the string. Now afterwards, we're asking the person or the user for their favorite subject. Then we have a conditional statement on lines 21 to 26. The conditional statement basically checks the favorite subject they're entering, and if their favorite subject is equal to coding, then the MarsCode Panda is going to reply them saying, "That's my favorite subject too." If they reply something other than coding, then it's just going to say, "That sounds interesting." Then we wait for another 1 second, and the MarsCode Panda just asks another question. This question is, do you like to travel? Yes or no? Again, we have a conditional statement on lines 31 to 33, which says if the response is equal to yes, the MarsCode Panda would respond back saying, "Me too." And then on lines 34, if the response is other than yes, then the MarsCode Panda would reply saying, "You should try traveling when you get the chance. It will be worthwhile." Finally, we wait for 1 second again, or the user waits for a second on line 37, and then the MarsCode Panda just prints out this message saying, "Thank you for chatting with me today." After 1 second, the MarsCode Panda says, "Please wait while I save your chat history in a file." So here is where you would learn how, again, we're applying the code block to basically convert this text file into a PDF document. After 1 second, you notice that on lines 47, we're opening this file, this text file called chat history, and we're passing the A command. And remember what that does is that it appends data into the file. On lines 48, we're basically writing the data to the file, and we're starting by writing the name of the user. And then afterwards, we're writing the favorite subject. So basically all the responses that we've gotten from the user in this code, we're writing it to the text file. So favorite subject will write the subject they chose. If they like to travel or not, we'll write the response that they chose, which is on line 52. And you notice on line 54 is where we close the file because we're finished writing to the file. Now the next thing to do is now to download this file as a PDF document. And you will see this happening on line 57 when we create this variable called file, and we're opening the same file that we just finished writing to, which is the chat history file. But this time we are passing this R command, which means to read. On line 58, we're printing out all the information on that chat history file with this file.read command. And then we're closing the file again on line 59. So you always have to close your text file. When you open them, you have to always close them. Then the compiler waits for about 1 second and it asks the user, would they like to download the chat history as a PDF file? Yes or no in the form of Y or N. If the user's response is yes or Y, then it will print the message telling the user, please wait while I create the PDF file. So what we're doing here is converting this text file into a PDF. Now, as you can see on line 67, we're creating the object as a PDF. We're adding a page to the PDF document. We're also putting in a color. That would be like a background, sort of like a maroon color. That's the RGB if you check it online. RGB just means the primary red, green, and blue colors. And the combination of 15000 does yield for maroon color, which is going to be the background color for this PDF page in the PDF document. On line 70, we're basically constructing sort of like a rectangular shape, which is going to be the area where we put in the information that we've received from the user. So basically the information that we're receiving and reading from that chat history text file. You notice that we're saying pdf.rect, and that just means create like a rectangle. And what we're saying there is h equals to pdf.h, which means we're getting the height of this rectangle according to the size of the PDF page, or you can say the PDF document. And then we have w equals to pdf.w, which means we're getting the width of the PDF according to the normal width of a PDF page. And normally PDFs are usually A4 sizes, so we're just getting like the standard size so we can be able to fit our text like normal on the PDF document. Then we're specifying the x and the y coordinate of this rectangle that will be created according to the width and height of the PDF document. And you notice that we're putting the x coordinate to be equals 0 and the y coordinate to be equals to 0. We have this style which is equals to draw and fill. So style is equals to df, which means just draw and fill. So that means basically draw the rectangle and then fill it with the color specified. Now, pdf.setFont is line 71, and here we're setting the font or specifying the font style and the font size that we'll be using to write the information from the text file into the PDF document. On line 72, you notice that we're opening up the PDF, again, text file, and that's going to be the chat history, and we're passing this read command. Now, we finished the first line 67 to 70 was the whole line where we basically created this PDF document, got it ready, added a page, put a background color, which was this maroon color on line 69, and then basically just position this rectangle that's going to go on the PDF page, which would be the area where we're going to be writing the information from the text file to the PDF document. Now from line 72 down to line 76 is where we're converting that text file with the information that we stored from the user based on the questions that was asked into this PDF document. So as you can see, this f equals to open chat history.txt, and then we pass the read command. And then we're setting a text color just to write the color for the text that's going to be written on the PDF page. Now you notice from line 74 to 76, it's just what we've already previously seen, where we have a for loop that goes through all the data in the file that is in the text file. That's why we're saying for data in f. And if you look at line 72, f is equal to open chat history.txt file, and we're passing the read command. So it's basically going through all the information that's stored inside of that f, which means the chat history text file. On line 75, we're basically writing all that information that we're getting from the text file to the PDF by setting the cell and basically specifying what we want to write, which you can see there is data, and specifying that it goes on line 1 and it aligns the text to the center, which is C. After we finish writing everything from the file into the PDF, we have to specify what would be the PDF document's name by putting this line 76 where we say pdf.output, and we put the name of the PDF document, and here you can see it is chat with MarsCode panda.pdf. So that's the name of the document that will be generated by the time this program is run. And so the user can download and view the contents. Now, after 1 second, a message is printed to the user saying that the PDF document has now been created for them to download. And after 1 second, we have this exit statement, which just means nothing would happen anymore on the console. Now, finally, on lines 82 to 88 is in case if they say they don't want to download or save the PDF, because that was the question we asked them, would you like to save your chat history as a PDF file? If they say no, then of course we're printing a message on line 84 saying, okay, I will not save the chat history. And then after 1 second, we're telling them, printing a thank you message for chatting with the MarsCode Panda. And then we're exiting the program, which means exiting the console. So that is all for how we can use text files and convert them into PDFs. Here's the output. When this program is run, this is how it will look like. So you can see the variance of colors because we've used different color codes. And you can see the first thing it does is to welcome the users to the MarsCode Pandas platform. Then it would tell the users that the MarsCode would like to get to know them better. It will ask them for their name, and I've typed in the name as Alicia. It will say, nice to meet you, Alicia, and then it's going to ask them, what is your favorite subject? And then if Alicia responds saying coding, MarsCode Panda is going to say, that is my favorite subject too. And then MarsCode Panda is going to ask the next question, do you like to travel? Yes or no? And if I respond saying yes, MarsCode Panda is going to say me too. And then finally it's going to say, thank you for chatting with me today. and then it will say, please wait while I save our chat history in a file. And then it basically does that, as you can see here in the other side on the right. We're basically displaying that information that's saved in a text file called a chat history, where it shows the name, the favorite subject, and the response of whether you like to travel or not. Afterwards, the question is being posed to the user that says, would you like to download our chat history as a PDF file? If the user responds with a Y or yes, then it would say, please wait while I create the PDF file. And finally, it would say the PDF file has now been created for you to download. So this is the run of the program, and this is the output of that run of that program. So as you can see here, the background color is that maroon color that we put, and there's that rectangular shape which is not visible but is present. And then in all of that, we've put the information that we've basically converted from the text file into the PDF, or we've read from the text file into the PDF with that specific text color that we specified. So here you can see the name is Alicia, favorite subject is coding, and likes to travel is yes. So all that information that is read from the text file is put in the PDF. And this is basically how you can convert a text file to a PDF document. Nothing is more important than understanding the nature of things. Al-Khwarizmi. Now, the last library that we're going to be looking at and learning in this video tutorial is the Aspose.words for Python via .NET. This library specifically, we're using it in a tutorial to basically learn how to download text files and make them into PDFs, which we've just seen already, or into a docs file format in a very easy manner. So let's understand what the Aspose.words library is. The Aspose.words for Python via .NET is a library that offers features to create, edit, and convert Word, PDF, and Word documents without the need for a Microsoft Word environment to be installed in the system. So in a simple tense, it just basically means that the Aspose.words library just makes things really easy for you to be able to download text files or Word documents into the form of .docs or .pdf. So the Aspose.words for Python via .NET library will specifically be used in this tutorial to convert a text file to a docs and a PDF document. So that's specifically why we need it in this tutorial, so you can learn how you can be able to convert or download a text file in a PDF but also in a docs format. To use this Aspose.words library, the library needs to be first installed in the program by writing the statement below in the Python shell or terminal. So what is the statement that you need to type in first so you can install this Aspose.words library and then it's able to be used? So the first thing you need to type in is pip install Aspose.words. Again, pip install Aspose.words. Then afterwards, once you've installed the Aspose.words library, you're now ready to use it to be able to download your text file in a PDF or docs format. As you can see here, the code to convert a text file to a PDF is, once you've installed it using the pip library or the pip in your shell, then you're going to install or insert this import statement, which is import Aspose.words as AW. So that means instead of writing Aspose.words whenever you want to perform an operation, you would just always use AW instead. Now, if you wanted to download your text file as a PDF, the simple thing you need to do is create a variable. In this case, we have this variable called doc, and it's going to be equal to how you've imposed or imported rather the Aspose.words library, which is as AW. So you notice I'm writing aw.document. And then you have to specify the format of the document or what document you're reading from to convert into a PDF. And in this case, it's a text file. Here we can see that the text file is file.txt or file.txt, so we're specifying the document that we want to convert into a PDF. Now the last statement you need to write is just put the name of that variable that you've created, doc, and put .save, and then in parentheses specify the format or the extension of the output file. In this case, the extension of the output file is a PDF, so here we have output.pdf. Now if this program is run, whatever is inside of this file.txt would now become a PDF file. This is also very similar to if you wanted to convert a text file to a docs document format. you would do the exact same thing where you'd have to import the Aspose.words library as AW, and then you'd have to create a variable that is equal to that aw.document and specify the name of the text file that you want to store as a docs file. And then afterwards, you'd put that doc.save, and then in parentheses, you're just going to put the name of your final file, .docs, because you want to store this text file as a docs file. In this Python program, you can see that the first thing we do is we import this Aspose.words as the AW library or package first. Then we're printing this message on line 3 saying, hello there, here's a message I wrote for you. And you notice again on lines 2 and 4, we're using color codes, which are the ASCII and CEscape color codes that we've already learned in our previous part of the tutorial. And then on line 5, we're basically printing another message saying you can access the file in a docs or PDF document. So we already have a text file ready. And that's why the message is saying, I have a message I wrote for you. Because the text file is already ready. And what we're telling them is that we're going to display for them, or we're going to download the text file that's already ready with this message in a PDF and in a docs format. Now, how you do that is you can see on line 6, you'd have to create a variable, and that's going to be equal to the file, the text file that you want to download as a docs or as a PDF. And the name of this text file we already have ready is called file.txt. Then we create another variable called output, and it's equals to aw.document, sort of like creating an object, or you can say creating a variable or an object for this document package, so we can be able to download this text file as a docs or as a PDF. Now the next line you see on line 9 is we have output.remove all children. So it's like we're removing all the content from the destination of the document before we append it. So it's like just a way to remove the content and then append it from the text file into the PDF or docs file. Now on lines 11, you can see that we are using a for loop again here where we're saying for file name in file names. And remember, file names on line 6 is the name of the text file. So, and then file name without an S after the for is just the variable that we're going to be using to go through all the information in this file.txt file or file.txt file. And then you have on line 12, we have this input keyword, which is equal to aw.document and file name. So it's basically like we're taking all the information as an input so that we can be able to download this text file as a docs or a PDF document. And then on line 14, we have this output.append document, and then inside of the parenthesis, we have input, and then we have aw.import format mode.keep_source_formatting. And what this does is that it just appends the source document to the end of the destination document. So remember, we sort of like eliminated or removed all the content from the destination document, which means the final document that will be generated, whether it's a text docs file or a PDF. And on line 14, we're basically appending all the information that we're reading from this text file called file.txt, and we're putting it into this new file, which is going to download for us as a docs or as a PDF. On line 16, you can see we have this variable new name, and that's new underscore name 2. And here you can see that we're creating the name of the file that we actually want to download, which in this case, it's going to be the docs file first. So we put the name.docx, which means name.docs. And then on line 17, we're specifying that we want that name to be outputted as the file. So here we have output.save new underscore name 2. So that means that it will download this text file that we're reading from as a docs file. And if we wanted to download it as a PDF file, it will pretty much be the same thing again, where we create an object of the document and again specifying the file, which is file.txt, just like what we saw in a previous part of this tutorial of how we can be able to convert a text file to a PDF. So it's the same method. We create a new variable on lines 21 called new underscore name 2, and again we're just creating the name of the new file that we want to download as a PDF, so we have to put that extension as .pdf, just like we did on line 16 where we said .docs. So here the name is new plus .pdf, so the name essentially will be new.pdf. And finally, we're saving that document, so we're saying doc.save, and the name of that document is the new.pdf. So that's how you convert a text file into a PDF and how you can convert a text file into a docs file as well. Now let's look at the right side. As you can see here, the file's already generated and the message that I had for my users is inside of the file. It says, hello, my name is Alicia Habibi. I'm the instructor of this Python programming tutorial on MarsCode. I hope you're enjoying this programming tutorial so far, and bye for now. So that information that we had, this was the information that was present in line 6 on that file.txt document, which was a text file, and we basically just read all the way from everything from that file and put it in the format of a docs or a PDF. Right now you can't really tell if it's a docs or PDF, but it does, that code from lines 1 to 22 does generate a PDF and a docs document from your text file. All right, so let's move on now.
And why are you looking at uranium in the first place?
Becquerel.
A more than competent scientist.
Becquerel discovered accidentally that uranium salts wrapped in a black cloth left in a drawer left an impression on a photographic plate. And he thought that the uranium was having an unusual chemical reaction with something in the atmosphere. I say it's the element itself.
A very radical thought.
I still don't understand.
Imagine a grape. How do you turn a grape into wine?
Well, you crush it and ferment it.
Yes, so imagine a grape crushes itself, ferments itself, changes its very being. And what if I told you that as the grape turns itself into wine, it releases a powerful surge of energy, power that can make things happen? You'd be excited, am I right?
I think so, yes, I would.
So science is changing. And the very people who are running science are the people who believe the world was flat. And I'm going to prove them wrong, just as Newton did. We are.
Thank you.
Now let's look at our first program scenario that we're going to be using to create our first program in this tutorial video. This program scenario is called the MarsCode Molecular Lab. What we will need to do is to develop a program to calculate the molecular weights of chemical compounds in the format provided below. You will need to apply the new Python programming concepts you have learned in this tutorial to design and develop this MarsCode Molecular Lab, and then you will also need to ensure your program is fun and interactive by implementing the use of text color or ASCII art. Here are the accepted chemical compound formats that our program would be able to use to solve or find the molecular weights for. The first one is a chemical compound written as NO2, or something that would be written as H2SO4, or the third format, which would be like Al2CO33, where you see the CO3 in a parenthesis. So these formats are the ones that our system would accept to be able to find the molecular weights for. Another important thing that we're going to be using to design and develop this program based on the scenario is the website links below, because they would be used to basically convert numbers into subscript values since we're dealing with chemical compounds, as you've seen in the formats already at the top. So the first one we have here is the subscript converter, which is a website that basically converts numbers into subscripts in case if you don't have that extension or format in your keyboard or something that you can do on the keyboard to get it into a subscript value. You can use this website to basically just get the numbers into subscript values. The second one is the one that we've used before in our tutorial, which is the ANSI escape color codes. And this website will basically take you to a place where you can get a color table that consists of about 256 color codes, which you can use to be able to color the text on the console to make it look interactive and fun to use. Now we're all set, and so let's get ready to program on MarsCode.